Hi everyone, this is Shannon from the irishscrapper.blogspot.com, and today I have a super cute spring birthday card for you using the Flower Patch stamp set as well as the coordinating framelits. I think they're called framelits or thinlits. I'll put it up on the video. So this is the first time I've used this stamp set, more so with the dies versus the actual stamps. So let me go ahead and show you how I created this card. So for our card base, I am using a piece of Daffodil Delight, and this is the standard size, so it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I am going to do one layer of the Whisper White, and this is 5.5 by 4. We're going to go ahead and emboss that with the large dots embossing folder. And then our top layers is a piece of Cucumber Crush that is 3 by 4 1/4, and then another piece of white that is 2.5 by 3 3/4. So the two white layers we are going to emboss. So let me grab the Big Shot and we can do that. And my platform is on tab 1, which you can see here. And I have my first cutting plate. And I'm going to put my white in my folder. Alright, let's roll this through. Okay, so here is our first layer. Hopefully you can see that. Let me grab the smaller piece of white and do the same with that. Let me back this up. And then I think while I have the Big Shot out, we'll go ahead and do our other pieces. So here's that smaller layer. Hopefully it's not too bright today in the craft room. It's a beautiful day outside. Quite sunny back here. Okay, so I'm going to be putting in my magnetic plate now into my Big Shot. And on the original card, I cut this flower and the centerpiece, directly from the Watermelon Wonder and the black. So I think we'll do those first. Let me grab my framelits. So I'm using this flower, and then this is the center. So I'm going to grab a piece of Scratch Watermelon Wonder and get that laid down. I'll put my plate over this. Okay, so there's our flower. So we'll set that aside. Let me grab our scrap of black. You gotta use all those scraps. Sometimes you think, oh, I don't need that piece, and it's perfect for little things, so be sure you hold on to those. Okay. Oops. Alright, there's our centerpiece, so we'll sit that. And then I also used a scrap of the Cucumber Crush to do this little leaf here. So we're going to do 2 of those. Get that put through as well. Okay, whoops. There's one, and we're going to need one more. grab another scrap. I think I just moved it. Okay, there's our other one. And then with the other flower, I actually stamped it and then die cut it out, just because it's a little trickier to line up the stamp once you've die cut it. So let me just take the Big Shot out of the way for a second and we can get that stamped. So I have a piece of Tempting Turquoise, and I have our Tempting Turquoise ink, and I am using this flower here. So I'm going to ink that up in the turquoise. That looks good. And then we will stamp that down. That's a very juicy ink pad. That's probably going to need to soak up the ink there for a second. Let me bring back the Big Shot. And then I will grab the die. So we are using this one here. Oops, hopefully my hands aren't blocking that. Put the cutting plate down, and then I'm gonna, hopefully you can see that. There's the flower. And then I just have to take a look here, make sure I have this lined up properly. Here, okay. So let me get this down. Okay, so there's our flower. And we have one more piece to do, and again, let me just take that out of the way for a second. I am stamping this little centerpiece flower right here that we're going to use in the center of that Tempting Turquoise. So let me pull back out the Tempting Turquoise ink. Get that inked up. We'll get that stamped. And that's most of our stamping for now. We're going to do a little bit more stamping when we get to the inside of the card. So let me bring back the Big Shot. I still have the magnetic plate in with the cutting pad. I'm going to lay down the white, and let me find my die here. Okay, so there is our little piece. Alright, so we're done with the Big Shot. Go ahead now and we should be able to assemble. So we have our Daffodil Delight, and I just need to get my two pieces of white that okay, so since this is embossed, I'm going to use the Fast Fuse around all four corners so that it really stays down. Put a little bit in the center. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and line this up. That looks good. Okay, and then we're going to take our Cucumber Crush, and again, this is embossed, so I'm going to use the Fast Fuse on this piece as well. love that fast fuse. It's very strong. Okay, so I actually laid this layer on the front of my card at an angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this is Watermelon Wonder dotted lace trim, and I have about 10 inches or so of this. And I'm going to wrap this around this center layer first. Hopefully I cut enough. I'm going to tie that into a knot. Okay, so we'll angle that. And I'm using this kind of as a bow, so I can mess with that all day. But for the video, we'll just go ahead and move forward. So I am going to put some adhesive on the back of this, and then we're also going to drop in our 2 leaves at this point so that we can get those to stick to the back as well. So I'm going to use some snail on this part. You could use your fast fuse also, which would be fine. So on this edge where my adhesive is, I'm going to grab my 2 little leaves and get those adhered now. So they're kind of behind that layer. All right, and then we can go ahead and lay this down at an angle. Looks good. Okay, and then for our flowers, here are our different pieces. I am going to grab, you could use maybe your fine tip glue on this. I just have a glue pen handy, so I'm going to use that since that's easy and quick. The fine tip glue would work perfect as well. Okay, so we'll get that put down in our center, and then I'm just, whoops, I'm just using my hands to kind of bring those leaves up a little bit, just to make the flower look a little cuter. Okay, and then I'm going to put a piece of, whoops, the fast fuse. Get that just a touch. And then get that put down. Okay, and then we're ready for our next flower. So let me do the center piece first. I don't think there we go. Get that adhered there. A little bit more fast fuse. And then we will get that laid down as well. Okay, so there's the front of our card. On the inside of the card, I have another piece of Whisper White cut at the 4x5 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and get that laid down as well. Okay, make sure I'm straight. Okay, and then I am using the sentiment from that stamp set that says Happy Blooming Birthday, and we are going to bring in the Watermelon Wonder. So we will ink that up and stamp that directly in the center of our card. Perfect. Clean that. And then I'm also using this little flower from the stamp set. Let me show you. It is this little one here at the top. And I'm going to stamp 2 of those on the inside of the card as well. So one in this corner and one in this corner. Clean that off real quick and close up my stamp. All right, so there is our card for today. Hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope to be back with you guys real soon. I'd love for you guys to follow me on my social media, on my blog and on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel, so that you can continue to see projects. I really appreciate it and love the feedback and comments. So thanks so much, and I will see you real soon. Bye. Hi guys, I just also wanted to mention, for those of you that have been following me, I just recently put up the Stampin' Up! Retirement list of the products, and I wanted to just make sure you were aware that the Flower Patch stamp set as well as the flower framelits are not retiring. So those are still available to order if you are interested in those. If you do want to see the retirement list, I will put a link in the description of the video, as well as on my blog. So I just wanted to share that, and I will be back with you guys real soon. Thanks. Bye.